Hi there, it's Michael Andre Ford, your American Angel Intuitive, with a quick reminder that it's far easier than you think to meet, hear, feel, and see angels, light beings, loving guides from all around the world, different cultures, religious, non-religious figures, to get any answers to any questions, all languages spoken, to get hugs, and also see with your eyes open those figures full on in front of you. It's easier than you think because this isn't about thinking. This is about the opposite. It's about the last place most of us would ever want to go. We're there a couple of times a day, at least a couple of times a week. Poor Scrooge in Christmas Carol wasn't there at all. He was dental floss when it came to life flow and his ability to be in the heart and love. But for most of us, when we smile, when we laugh, when we dance, we're there. When we do art, hug our dog, go for a walk, we just don't give ourselves credit for being heart aficionados. And that's all you have to do is give yourself permission to let go. No thinking, no thinking aloud. Get out of your brain, into your heart, and basically let the universe, let angels do their jobs. This is about setting your intent, dropping down, taking a breath, smiling, and again, doing basic listening, basic hearing, basic feeling for some amazing hugs. And you can get a lot more than that. So you can get any answers to any questions, science, your business, career, what to do next, your finances, if you're in a pinch or a situation about something, your health, where to go on vacation, your cousin John, your friends, how to have more fun, what should you do for dinner. There's no question too big or small, and there's no details that you can't get. Once in a blue moon, if you've gone off topic or off the reservation, then you'll be told to move on or not right now. But for the most part, if you've got the guts to show up here and to be present, you can get the listening done, you can get hugs, and for most folks, you can do the seeing as well. Now, what's awesome about this role or job is I help people, again, get out of what they know long enough to do basic listening, hearing, feeling, seeing. And, that all kind of returns, and it can be a little harder later to do it, but you basically have your senses, your awareness expanded, and it doesn't go away. If you want to do this again on your own, you're welcome to. Um, it's just a little more love in the present moment. And I would remind everyone, if I wanted to say, I know like three things here. One, angels exist, trust that it's so, your answers and much more will come. Loves the fabric of the universe, and it has never gone away. If you can think of those 5 times you've been at your highest vibe, you just scored 5 goals in the community soccer tournament back in college, high school, or little league, but you remember how happy you were for 4 days. The first time you fell in love, or that you are in love and you're being grateful or celebrating something that you're thankful for today, or that vacation, any of those memories, those vibes were not actually dependent on the state that you were in or the conditional surroundings or interactions with people. You've actually never lost that ability to bring that vibe right back in. Love is a complete constant. It's in and around you. And as the Big Mary reminds us, and you can hear her and see her full on, love is in everything. Open your eyes to see love. That is almost our objective while we're here on planet Earth doing the human thing, except you really do have a unique life path. And that's something that once you figure out what the difference is between, your energy flow or lack of flow or unlove that you do when you're in your brain, versus all the love that you do when you're in your heart. Once you figure out the difference between unconsciousness and consciousness, or awareness, or unconditional love, or kindness, you're off to the races. Angels are ready to step in and help you define that unique life path if you already didn't know what makes your heart sing, or what your unique passion is, and why you came in to be here as who you are right now. You can get help getting back on track. Angels may alter your path as well. You just have to do basic listening. And a quick reminder, the third thing that I know is where you put your focus is where you put your focus. Most of us can't help it. We're sort of like squirrel. And this is a big generality, but for humans, we all do a lot of thinking. Thinking generates little Acme bricks that go into walls. We build tons of walls or barriers to fuller living, sharing more love, being more compassionate, helping others, and even just through our own being present, we're unconsciously or consciously helping others as we go through our own day. that's something that humans haven't really figured out yet. So call it a spiritual awakening if you wish for mankind. Call it just more openness and gentleness coming. Call it a lot less war and conflict at some point as we figure out that all gets kind of dumb after a while. I'm not saying don't defend yourself in an alleyway or wherever. Yes, there's a lot of stuff going down. But again, there's something bigger going on. You can, again, meet, hear, feel, see angels, light beings, a jinn who's East Asian mysticism, fairies, a few loved ones, as well as many, many unconditional love guides, whether they're religious, non-religious, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, figures from India, Vishnu, Krishna, Ganesh, Shakti or Durga, the Divine Mother, Meher Baba, Sri Kaleshwar, Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, the one from 100 years ago, Mother Teresa. It goes on and on and on. Rama, Einstein, Gandhi, Einstein, I just meant to say on the other front, Einstein, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Plato, Carl Jung. Check out my website. It's michaelandreford.com. You'll find that list up front. Not everybody's listed. It's a lot. You can hear God, but you got to own the angel part first. I just describe God as all voices at once speaking to you. You can hear angels singing, but it can have a lot of humor. I had somebody in the last week kind of get a musical version of angels singing, like musical production stage that they were very familiar with. The song was done at the angelic level, very special to them. Angels already know how you roll. They know your fiber, your makeup, where you've been, everything you've done. You're not getting judged. They just know how to relate to you in a really great way. So it's really cool. Let's say you spoke 20 languages, Swahili, Hindi, Telugu, French, Japanese, and something else, German. And you could get all the answers that way as well. And those remote dialects as well, they can speak it in a way that makes you laugh. But at the end of the day, if you really think about it or analyze this or sit on it for a while, it's more impressive that they know how to say something like just the right way that resonates with your personal value system. So let me give you an example. Birds of a feather, or what goes around comes around, or karma, stuff like that. There's 1,000 ways to say, again, karma, but there's only a few ways that each of us like to hear it. Angels know which way you need to hear it to have it resonate, for you to be fired up afterwards and excited. And that's, I think, the most important thing. 49 pages is the record for listening over 9 hours. I don't sit with you the whole time. I don't see your questions. I don't see your answers. I just check in every 2 hours. I make sure, though, that your senses get blown out. You connect to the universe with no barriers. All barriers means is this: until you understand that most of your thinking is a waste of energy, a waste of time. Time's a construct of the mind as well, even the past and the future. The more you do love in the present moment, the more you can shift the past, the future, the more you bleed into your past lives, which are actually concurrent. That's a lot to grasp. Talk to angels about it. Einstein, it's above my pay grade. But the more you just do love, the lighter you're going to feel, the higher vibration, and the easier you're going to find your path ahead as you take each step moment to moment. All moments can actually be the same. This is entirely up to you. You're going to spend your energy, and you've already been doing it every single moment of your life. The question is, are you doing it consciously, unconsciously? And if you're doing it consciously, by then you should have figured out what this is: unlove, unconsciousness, conditionality, okay? Judging, thinking, reacting, fear, stress, worry, rejection, knowing something, which is, if you're on Wall Street, you're paid to know all the time, although they say the number one thing you can say is, I don't know. That's actually the smartest thing you can say in a lot of situations. Let everything be as it is, see how the chips fall. But when you're up here, you're usually shut tight like an oyster. The knowing that you're doing, 80, 90% of human knowing is precluding real possibility. And we don't even know what we're talking about most of the time. The universe is, again, far bigger than the scientific astrophysicist crowd's getting right now. And so it's not that I know anything. I'm just trying to say you can chat with angels, light beings, and get the lowdown on whatever toots your horn. It's up to you to first figure out what this flow is about. It's not as high vibration as what goes down when you're here, hugging your dog, singing to yourself, helping others in whatever passionate way that you do it, going for a run and exercising. There's about 1 million ways that you flow through your heart. And most of the time each day, you give yourself 0 credit for it. Who's the person not giving you credit? It's your ego, your psyche, your brain, your human structure, your relating skills. It's not wanting to give up control to your heart. It doesn't want your heart in the driver's seat. It actually doesn't want you happy, relaxed, and chill with exactly how life is right now. There's the crisis overseas. There's this group to be upset about, that political party, this amendment to whatever bill or legislation's in Congress, and what happened down the street at the community meeting. If you could get fired up, upset, and shut tight like an oyster for 5 days, the clipboard side of you wins. So the goal here is actually to get you breathing easier, laughing, and a much broader perspective. That again doesn't mean you're not paying attention to events and how others are rolling. You don't have to hang out with low vibration folks or people who are upsetting you. Just you're paying attention to how you're rolling with your energy, how you're spending your energy, and what energy you want to create more of. Do you want to create more love, or do you want to waste more energy on negativity? It's a hot stove effect when you're up here most of the time. Now, sometimes it's only 1% of 1% hot stove. And other times it's heavy doses. If it's guilt, fear, shock, trembling with trauma and PTSD. PTSD is a real state of mind. And there's a million ways we as humans get stuck for not just, days, months, weeks, but like years and decades at a time. It's just, there's no like education course when we were kids, except for some mindfulness classes popping up in the public school system that teaches us how to drop back into our body, into our heart, and into possibility, into more love. And that love is here all the time. You just have to go out into nature, sit for a second on the grass, hug a tree, feel a tree, listen to a tree. You can hear trees talk. You can hear hummingbirds. You can hear spirit animals if you want. You can hear your pets, your dogs, your cat. They will talk to you like third graders. It's pretty awesome. But you've got an ego. You've got a psyche that wants to keep you extremely limited and focused on, situations, drama. I'll just say negativity. That's the best way I know how to say it. So this is about lightening up. This is about letting go of what you know just long enough to do opening openness, basic being present, to be or not to be or not to be. That's the question. Shakespeare had it down. Okay, I've been doing this 12 years. I've done this for a few thousand folks. People can do the joint seeing or seeing as a group jointly. That's joint seeing, hearing, and feeling. Some folks, not every attendee at my Omega Institute event in 2022 did this over 3 days. You can go surfing with your eyes closed. Angels will make the waves perfect. I did have 3 women who were super cool. Close their eyes. They're able to see each other. I don't know how to explain this. It's better than lucid dreaming, but it's 5 minutes of our time is like 8 minutes over there. You can go to a Middle East setting, Tibet, India, Vietnam, Hawaii is my favorite, a Native American setting. It's incredible. You're letting, though, Native American chiefs, India figures, angels do their jobs. There's healing to be had. You get answers. You go in, let's say, about a business project, or you want to write another book. You can have that laid out for you with a broader understanding of how you're going to reach that audience. You can see the front cover of the book. It's very creative. And you can have a lot of fun surfing too. So there's something going on here where it defies all logic, all reason. There's 10 million reasons up here why none of this is possible and why you shouldn't pay attention. And there's only one way you're going to be able to get into your heart and do any of this. That's by letting go and allowing, or just letting go. So allowing is the key to this, and that is sort of the rub or the crux for all of mankind. Can we allow for more love to come in? Can we allow for the universe to be bigger than we know? Can all the various groups that are out there, there's a ton of constituencies that use certain lingo and look at the world and the universe through a certain lens. It could be the near-death experience crowd. It could be the Buddhist crowd. It could be the angel crowd. It could be the spirituality crowd. It could be the Reiki crowd, and there's like subdivisions in the Reiki crowd. It could be the orb photograph crowd. It goes on and on. The astrophysicist crowd, the ones that believe in things this way versus that way. And so what's really cool about this is slices through everything. This is about the heart. This is about unlimited possibility, unlimited growth. We're all ready for more expansion and growth. The only person who isn't is the one running around shouting that they're enlightened. They are in a permanent timeout. They're stuck. They just don't know it yet. I mean, there might be like 5 people who are truly enlightened. I haven't met any yet. But the bottom line is we're all still doing some thinking, some judging, and we need a reminder. What's the reminder? You've got to figure it out. I try not to tell you anything. You just have to remember, if you can remember, to remember. What? Up to you. But whatever it is going to get you here. You'll be the shinier, sparklier you, connected to your higher self a little bit more. So you've got some sizzle in your eyes and a little lighter, footstep. Again, it's really cool to get any answers to any questions. The hugs can become healing. Colorblind people have seen color. I haven't done enough people that, angels can alter your path. Some stuff's written, a lot is not. You have to have the conversation, whether you're meeting a loved one about that or about a health condition, and you have to ask for waves of light to come in and see what can be done. I stay out of it completely. This is between you, the universe, your angels. I help people. My number one role is actually helping people meet their own angel crew, their cheerleading squad. That's guides, that's angels. I don't get to do that a lot these days. You can meet your guardian angel, your muse. If you're an author, if you're an athlete, you can meet your angels who are supporting you on the field, and so on. So I think that's super cool. I have so many front end figures. I think it's like 170 plus. It's many more than that, actually. You're going to want to meet St. Francis, Geronimo, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Audrey Hepburn's an angel. You're going to be too tied up on the basics of making sure your senses are all working, doing the listening, the feeling, the seeing, even smelling. So you're able to see these figures, at least out the window and at some distance. So you're calm and cool and collected and make it easy to do. But if you're really loosey-goosey, you can just see, like I had someone in the last few days see Jesus and an angel named Joy right here and here. That's totally personal, totally private. I'm just here to encourage you. You've got to take me with a grain of salt. I'm enthusiasm. Uh, I see the possibility for each person, how they can fall in love with life again, how they can tap what they've already got. They've just forgotten. That's, again, all of us. We forget 50,000 times a day. And even during any typical day, we're doing tons of acts. I'll call it unconsciously through our heart. But if you just paid attention a little more, that unconscious act could be more conscious, and you're sort of escaping the reality that goes through the brain and entering into the broader reality of love that's constantly flowing in and around us. There's a little interdimensionality to this whole thing. If I'm starting to get more comfortable with saying I do transdimensional channeling for a multidimensional experience. Angels live in and around you, and they learn from us. Even though from our perspective they're totally perfect, they can see the entire flow of your life and give you great advice. Things do change, though. If you asked 100 questions today and got the most fantastic details, 3 months from now, I guarantee you'd want to start all over again with the Q&A. Why not? Everything you might have, if you're a salesperson, you asked for 50 people to call for your sales desk at a Wall Street job. You might have called all 50 people and you're like, what's next? Who else should I call? What should I do next? So in a way, the learning, the Q&A side of things, that doesn't stop. You just have to get comfortable with the concept that you can have any answer to any question, that you have no limits for the most part. And that's something that we don't walk around doing. We don't say, hey, what can I do next to enjoy more possibility, deeper breaths, more peace, more harmony, more fun at work, more fun in relationships. Instead, we sort of look at our shoe tips with our head down as we go through the day. That's if you're like most of us. We can't help but judge things or gossip or do whatever and, complain. It's just this, if you could see how when you spoke, what energy was generated, is it unlove, lower vibration, 1% negativity, or if you were saying, oh my God, what a beautiful caracara bird that just flew by, a red-tailed hawk, and how your heart soared and all the light that came out of you when you spoke. If you could just see the difference, you would immediately be like, whoa, my words have power. And when I speak or when I act, I'm using that authentic power for unconsciousness, unawareness, unlove, no fun, or love, fun, sparkle that impacts others in a beautiful way. Even your laugh can be hope and joy for others. So everything we do is energy. everything we do is a lot of what we do is a waste of energy. And part of the name of the game is figuring out how not to waste energy too much, how to do a little more, just a little less self-importance, a little more love. And once you've figured out the difference, like pretend you could see that light, it would help tremendously, so you could catch yourself and be like, whoa, I was just being too harsh and judging that person. Maybe I should just let it be a little more, so I'm not reverberating around in my judgment of them. Wayne Dyer had a great quote: when you judge others, you're actually, sticking that energy on yourself. And I think that's totally true. And guess what? You can see that light. You can see that energy. You can see auras, consciousness chakras, the Hindu chakras, universal light, whatever you want to call it, the force from Star Wars. In India, they do it this way. Celestine Prophecy, they do it this way. But you can just see auras on people. I had a couple the other day see the light flowing between them. You don't have to just do your hands. You can see it heart to heart flowing back and forth if you're in love, a true couple, or just two teammates, gymnasts or soccer players who are getting along, love each other, or at least get along and are synced, not upset with each other. Let's do it that way. So there is really something to this. I still love that Zen Joshu quote when the student comes running up to the master and asks, well, what about it when I seek to be Buddha? And the teacher says, then, what a tremendous waste of energy. And the student is pretty quick and comes back with, well, what about it when I don't waste energy? And the master says, then you are Buddha. So there's something about understanding the differences in negativity, lower vibration, wasting energy, unlove, just call it unlove, lack of awareness, unconsciousness, versus, again, consciousness, love, compassion, kindness. There's a trillion vibrations that go higher and higher: joy, creativity, enthusiasm, humor, laughter, singing, dancing, yoga when it's fun. And that's what life is all about. The more you can partake, as Dull Knife says, life is a feast, partake. The more you can partake in higher vibrations, the more you discover the reality of your situation, which is, why would I ever waste energy again and do negativity? Why would I take the time to judge someone when everyone out there is doing absolutely the best they know how? Now, someone may have just wrecked 10 motorbikes in a row. They're not paying attention to the fact that they don't know how to drive a motorcycle. What are you going to do? You could judge them all day long, but they're doing what they know how to do according to their consciousness level. I've never known anyone who can be like, you can't force someone to get more with it and to do less harm. And in a broader sense, from an angel's perspective, there's no right or wrong. There's simply proper understanding. Are you wasting energy? Or are you doing love? If you're doing love, you get it. And you want to do more love. And you're going to do a lot less harm to yourself and to others. So again, there's a lot of details out there: trauma, divorces, death in the family. You got laid off 20 years ago. You can't get back on the horse. And there's a lot of reasons why we can't allow love to be love, and we can't get back to our heart to just do love. It's the simplest act in the world. But as Dan Millman's book and movie Peaceful Warrior reminds us, it's the last place we want to go right here. And it's the number one place angels who are your cheerleading angels on your team want to get you. They don't want to interfere. You're getting everything perfect as it is now. If you're suffering a ton, guess what? You can change your flows and get out of that situation and get into a much more fun setup in life. That's just entirely up to you. You just have to recognize that you've got something called ego, a psyche. It'll have no more control over you once you understand the difference in flows, what goes on up here versus what goes on down here. So trust in that a little bit. I got a little book called Listening to Angels. It's written by angels. It's really smooth. It's really simple. Probably a 20 to 30 minute read. It's $7.99 now at Amazon. Find it at amazon.com/author/angels. It's great value also because it's got 7 angel photos in there at least. Each one is $3 on my website. So instead of $21 there, just buy the book for $7.99. I think you'll agree it's written by angels. It's so smooth. It's so gentle. If you think I wrote it, it's the greatest compliment in the world. Be sure to put a review down for me on Amazon. The epilogue is written by an angel named Dale, who precisely talks about the concept of up here versus down here, and how once you figure that out, you're ready to get going with living more fully again, and also finding you and living your unique life path. You also have the YouTube show Angels, Positivity, and Love. We're now booked all the way into February of 2025. That's super exciting. Our caliber of guests is incredible. Blame angels for that. We've got the angels, the guides. We're a super small show audience wise. That'll grow over time in the next 5 years, but hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 100,000 viewers, splickety split. Please comment as well. Say something that you enjoyed about whatever the expert just said, or what you just enjoyed here, something that resonates. Yeah. And also be sure to share with a friend or two. This show is not a waste of time. You get plenty of opportunities to smell lit sage. I'll blow it through the screen in just a second. I put up photos of angels. Again, they'll move, change color if you'll allow for it. Buy one for $3 and put it on your iPhone and carry it around for a few months. Try to remember, if you can remember, when you remember, to actually turn on that phone and look at Joy, the pink ball of light. She's an angel who's joy, the emotion joy. She's your ambassador, communicator. Let her do everything and anything for you, whatever you can think of. You just have to get out of your own way and let her do her job. I have one rule, which is just asking angels to help you out of your head into your heart. And that's all this is about, is setting your intent. So do that now. Angels, get me out of my head into my heart. Make this nice. Amen. Rock and roll. Thank you. Om Sai Ram. Help me smell the sage Mike is about to blow on a taped video. Even if this is 2027, 2032, you can still smell the sage. Time isn't what you think it is. So I'll blow this with a feather, a red-tailed hawk feather. I'm just lighting a little bit of sage. Leave your eyes on the smoke. But instead of it being a linear experience and just getting sage, and you can allow for any of this, ask for your own angel crew to bring you flowers, maybe roses, daisies, wisteria, lavender, hibiscus, or if you're from somewhere around the world, your favorite exotic flower from an American's perspective. What will you allow for is the real question here. Forget angels, forget light beings, forget sage, forget me. Will you allow for more joy, love, and kindness? I have a lot of people who have huge problems with me when we get talking, just because they can't allow for the fact that angels could exist, or that you could meet angels, or Buddha, or Sai Baba, or Mother Teresa. They'll get upset about some aspect, or they get triggered. They have a childhood experience that was really big, and this brings them back to their heart. And the next thing you know, their ego's jumping in, and they got to cut off the conversation. So I have no expectations for people. I mean, I certainly have good boundaries. I know if there's bad treatment to, respect myself and do self-love. But I'm just saying what one person does 1 year may be completely opposite of what they do years later, or they might not remember me at all. It's been a really interesting thing. I mean, I've gotten rejected, I'd say 8,000 or 9,000 times, maybe more, but I've had like 4,000 or 5,000 yeses. So take me out of the equation, take angels out of the equation. The real thing is just allow life to be life. Invite the universe to bring you more humor, more joy randomly. It could be something you see on TV as you go around town driving. A truck goes by that just makes you burst out laughing. What's on the radio, the way a bird flies by or lands on your hood if you're stuck in traffic. This is pretty weak smoke. Let me try to get that a little bigger for you. So let the sage be an example of just what happens when you truly let go and get into your heart. Let angels, Mary, Mother Mary, Big Mary, Buddha, Muhammad, Sai Baba, Jesus, all the angels in the world bring you some sage smoke. And catch a little bit of flowers in the air. And if you want, close your eyes. I'll keep doing this for another 20 seconds. Catch your favorite beach smell. Again, without knowing it, we're limiting all the time. We think it has to be a certain way. We have a lot of group thinking, especially these days. It's unbelievable how much restriction there is. I thought the late 80s were the peak, and I'd never see that again. But remember, we always impress as human beings to our degrees and extents that we get up in the mind and do stuff with the mind in a way that is so limiting and constricts love and doesn't allow others to experience their own life paths organically. The more you can just do love and allowing and kindness and gentleness, the further you'll go, the further everyone else will go. It's kind of cool. With that, I'll mention a couple of other resources. On my website, there's a suggested reading page. It's not just books. movies, some music videos as well. You've got just incredible abilities that you don't realize. You're like a Marvel superhero without a name and a costume. So you don't know you're Superman with the cape and the outfit, but you are. And you actually have more abilities than most everyone else. Most of the psychic mediums that you see out there and healers, you just have to understand, and it doesn't mean you're becoming a psychic medium or a healer tomorrow. That's not in the cards for everyone, but you have unlimited abilities if you would just pay attention. I think the first act is just letting go and trusting, holy cow, I'm feeling high vibes. I've met loving figures. I'm seeing light on my hands. I'm seeing light around me and much more. I'm getting answers for practical purposes for my situations in life. I'm hearing more about my unique life path. I actually should go back to my art, or I should be going to Portland, or I should be going to Peru to follow my passion and my path. Um, this is up to you how you're going to handle it. It's like anything else. There are so many ways that we find a way to delay, to be fearful, to not pay attention, and to avoid clarity. So think of The Alchemist with the boy, and I think it was a professor in that little parable. It is such a good story. You have a personal treasure here that you just have to go full stop and discover by breathing deeper and being. Angels can show you you. You can see your higher self, your soul. I usually do that by having you look at a blue sky, and you'll see like an aurora borealis that's you. Um, yeah, you can, again, just meet lots of loving figures who can help you out in a much more succinct way than I'm doing here. But that means, again, any answers to any questions, a lot more fun. You can physically have a lot of your stress you've been carrying around. Pretend you've been at the same job for 20 years and it's really weighing you down. You can have that lifted off of you. There is a lot of yawning and crying at times, depends on how much of a bind, a pinch, a pickle a person's in. If it's health related, again, that's between you and angels. Some stuff's written, some stuff's not. You have to hear what's written, what's not. You have to hear what you can ask for. And then guess what? You still have to be able to get out of here, get into here, and give yourself the breathing space, the allowing space to be able to simply ask and receive. The receiving is like a baseball game. Borrow the catcher's mitt, and you don't have to worry about batting or catching out in the outfield. You only have to receive. It's like your birthday, Boxer Day, July 4th, New Year's Eve, Christmas, Hanukkah, and Halloween all wrapped up into one. It's all about you. It's a really cool thing. And your ego will get behind it at some point when it's realizing it's getting beautiful hugs, beautiful answers, and so on. The real rub again is later, can you stay open again and repeat it again in the future? Part of you wants to do the ostrich and just stick your head in the sand and pretend it didn't happen, or pretend it can't happen. That's a lot of us. The number one blank expert in some field, industry, or New York Times bestselling author. They've sold 40 million books. That person could easily not allow for any of this. And in the same breath, they might do it all and have a wonderful time. You just never know. I kind of say it's like a twister wheel. Spin it on any given moment or any given day. A person's going to decide it's impossible, and a person's going to go ahead and just do it and get it done. And that person, again, 2 days later may go the opposite. It's human nature is very finicky. I don't try to worry about it too much. I just wanted to mention it though. You have no limits, and you knew it as a kid. The whole concept of being an adult, taking things so seriously, taking yourself so seriously. And again, a lot of knowing that precludes possibility. Those are your only limits or blocks. If you can just take a breath, do basic listening, you're off to the races. So check out my book, check out the YouTube show. This coming weekend is January 28th, Dr. Connie Mariano, MD, FACP. She was the physician to the president, 1994 to 2001 under President Clinton and I think others. That's the White House doctor. She's also the founder and president of the Center for Executive Medicine in Scottsdale, Arizona. What a personality, what an energy, what a soul, what a marvelous, marvelous person. She's wonderful. We did a beautiful interview while she was at a resort in Arizona. I think you're going to enjoy that a lot. She takes steps on air, as most guests do. I at least blow sage. I think there was one guest I only blew sage to. Everyone else so far has taken many steps, small steps. It's usually what goes on before the show and after the show that's much bigger. The show isn't about proving anything, but it is trying to show you that it's really easy. The show, we had 50 guests in 2023. This year is filled up. And then we're booking into February right now of 2025, which is super exciting. So again, please be sure to subscribe, like, share, comment, and please be sure to play around with the videos. Check out a lot of the other shows, videos that are up, and playlists, and so on. Thank you very much. Michael Andre Ford, your American Angel Intuitive. Have a good one.